and it is still a little chaotic as people.
Jeff Slauson here from 19 News Now at the 19 News digital desk. We are reporting now on breaking news coming out of Kansas City, Missouri. The Kansas City Chiefs were having their Super Bowl parade to honor their Super Bowl winning season that just wrapped up on Sunday, and we can now confirm that shots were fired west of Union Station, which is basically where that parade started / ended. That was near a garage is where the shots were fired. Multiple people were struck. And now we know that 2 armed people were taken into custody on this. We have multiple shots that we are looking at right now, multiple videos that we are looking at here. This is the live scene right now. You can see Union Station there on the right-hand side of your screen that just was passed, just panned away. I want to show you now a helicopter view, courtesy of KMBC, that shows you the duration, or at least the enormity that we're seeing of the coverage that officers are having. Before we get to some of this, I want to show you, this is courtesy of Jacob Michael, a tweet that he had sent out saying, "Chaos has broken out at the end of the Chiefs Super Bowl parade. Police and military personnel just took off inside of Union Station." I want to play this for you in its entirety here. Look at how fast this response is, and then watch all of the what seem like closed or irregular clothed people. Those seem to be undercover officers just running into Union Station here. And then I also want to show you here, this is James Palmer, reporter for NFL Network. In his report, he says, "We have been escorted away from Union Station after being told to get under the stage. We were hosting where the parade is being hosted." Look at this.
Not this way.
They told me this way. Okay.
Hey, where are we going?
Or you're not going that way. You
How much farther are you pushing us?
I don't know.
Okay.
What do you need? We're not worried about that. You gotta go.
You all right?
You're not going that way.
And again, we can now report multiple people were shot in this. The reports were of shots fired around Union Station. We now know that was near the garage. Multiple people struck. 2 armed people were taken into custody. The Kansas City Police Department also, let me move this really quickly, also asking that anybody that needs to leave the area they should do that as quickly as possible and as safely as possible to facilitate treatment of the shooting victims. They're asking that people avoid Union Station parking garage to allow first responders through. That is so much easier said than done, because thousands of people were gathering downtown for the Super Bowl parade. For anybody that saw any video from it throughout the day, you could see the players, you could see the fans. They were lined up in rows. Thousands, tens of thousands, potentially hundreds of thousands of people downtown waiting to cheer on, to appreciate the Chiefs as they were returning home, celebrating their Super Bowl victory. So something like this happening at a time like that, again, it's a lot easier said than done to say, hey, can everybody leave in an orderly fashion? In that initial video, which I'll pull up again here from Jacob Michael, I believe is his name. Let me just make sure. He's the sports director for News Press Now in St. Joseph, Missouri. Again, watch the response and the speed of this response. somebody say at the end there, the FBI is here, you can expect a pretty rapid response there. So what we're going to do is we're going to hang on to this for a little bit, wait until we can potentially hear more from any of the reporters that are on the scene. We have 2 cameras on the ground. We have a helicopter as well, giving us a total view of all of this. Let's see, actually, it looks like we're getting another report here. This is from, let me see which affiliate that is there. Is it ABC or CBS station? Excuse me. We'll pull this up here. We'll wait and listen what they say. That's KCTV 5 News. They have a reporter there who's hopefully going to give us some breaking news on this, or at least an update, those on the ground.
Well, guys, I'm standing in front of the shooting scene. It happened right over there, to the right of that tree there. You can see a wheelchair. It happened in that area there. Imagine this intersection here being filled with hundreds and hundreds of people walking very calmly away from Union Station, when suddenly what appeared to be fireworks ended up being gunfire broke out. They immediately, the police began to run in as people tried to run out. There was screaming, there was crying as people tried to get away, tried to get their families away, and they ended up apprehending someone over there behind that red, where the Kansas City Fire Department truck has just stopped. They ended up apprehending somebody, it appeared, right there. They subdued somebody. He had been wounded, it looked like maybe 2, and they took him out. Don't know if he was wounded or not. They were treating him, but they definitely took somebody out. There were people who said that was a suspect. No guarantee about that, but that's what we were told at the time. That's what I heard several police officers yell to other police officers, is that we have a suspect. They then began treating people. Photographer Greg Malotas says a total of 4 people were treated and 2 were given CPR. 2 were given CPR in front of him. So it all happened right here. It was very frightening, with hundreds of people running in all directions trying to get away from this situation.
Yeah, so you just heard the latest update there. KCTV is our gray affiliate, CBS station as well, based in Kansas City. You could hear him talking about them bringing somebody out. We're going to wait for more confirmation on that. This is obviously a very active scene. I'm doing my best to try and at least go through some of this video that's coming in and give you the latest accurately. There's one video I do want to show all of you. However, we will continue to show you the live updates. This is not a sight that you want to see there. So this is from KMBC, and this is from the helicopter that they have, and those are gurneys. That's a horrific scene to have here. Now, there are a lot of difficulties in a situation like this because there's just mass amounts of crowds, and you understand when police departments will say, we need you to calmly leave the area. Calm is something that you're not going to see. This is hundreds of thousands of people, a large chunk of them, let's just be honest, drinking in the middle of the day, being calm, calming down, relaxing, understanding what's happening, and trying to handle it well in a situation that most people have probably never been in is tough. You can see they're letting a group of people now in toward Union Station, or at least around it. Unsure what this is about here, but we now know, we have confirmed that multiple people were hurt in this shooting. This isn't, unfortunately, new, at least shootings at parades, particularly sporting parades, but still it doesn't mean that law enforcement or anybody is prepared for potentially the fallout of that. I'm going to pull up a double box here so you can see both of the ones that we have. All right, so that's both of these. That's at least 2 of those shots. Right-hand side, left-hand side. These cameras are right next to each other, right in the same area. But again, what we have confirmed, this is via the Kansas City Police Department's Twitter account. Shots were fired. That was 25 minutes ago, asking people to please leave the area. They've learned that it was west of Union Station near the garage. Multiple people were struck. 2 armed people were taken into custody at that point. But they had said multiple people were struck by gunfire. Officers were working to clear the station itself and will release people inside the building, and that ultimately did happen about 20 minutes ago when they released everybody from inside. But they're still working to learn potentially how many people were shot, who was shot, why the shooting was done. All of this is investigation that is going to take quite some time to get to the bottom of here. I'm trying to pull up this one video that I had. And as you can understand, in an active situation like this, all right, this is another good one. This is from James Palmer with NFL Network there. We were told to get under the stage after the parade, law enforcement everywhere. Look at that. That's the difference between what we saw just minutes ago from all the people there is pretty drastic there. And you can just see it's a ghost town compared to what they had. We're going to go now back to more reporters from KCTV. Again, this is our affiliate based in Kansas City, who will have more. And we are now learning, according to the Associated Press, fire officials are saying 8 to 10 people are hurt in this. There's a video right now of somebody being loaded into a gurney that I'm looking at. I am not going to show that. Respect to the person that was hurt in this, and also you just do not know the situation. So I just want to let you know that I am currently seeing a person being loaded into a gurney. They looked as if they were alert, but I am not going to show you that, again, out of respect to that person. But we are being told 8 to 10 people were hurt in this. Again, we're waiting for the live report coming from KCTV. This appears to be some of their anchors. You have to understand, from a news perspective, this is a massive day for everybody, and these news organizations plan this and plan this and plan this. We're looking at somebody being dragged away right now. It looks like that person potentially just drank too much. Let's look at this. This looks like somebody being taken away in handcuffs. Unsure what that's about. I mean, this is just a chaotic scene. Can't imagine what it's like on the ground there. But we're just trying to get to the bottom of this and show you all that we can. This is a look at the ambulance where one person was just brought into. Again, we saw that, did not show it for obvious reasons. We can see again this one person in handcuffs being brought away from the scene. Still waiting for the next report from KCTV. That is the affiliate, our affiliate. We are owned by Gray. That is a Gray affiliate, and of course they are a CBS station as well. Again, based in Kansas City. So we're just waiting for another report from them. As we see, this is a Kansas City Police Department van that just pulled up to the scene. Seems like some sort of investigation van. You can get a clean look at it. And you can see some more fire crews arriving as well.
Yeah, guys, we're still seeing emergency services coming in. A couple of ambulances, a fire truck just came through here at Kessler and Pershing. And kind of echoing what Carolina was saying earlier, which is it's such a stark contrast between what we saw earlier today, where there were so many smiles, so many people being excited about the day, and just seeing people come out and seeing tears streaming down their faces because of what this event has done and changed the feeling of this day.
Certainly, frantic and chaotic is the best way to describe everything. At this point, as Carolina mentioned, there are not fans sitting and enjoying any type of situation here. Vendors are being asked to leave. We are being pushed back moment by moment as more emergency vehicles are arriving every moment. So we are impressed by the presence of the law enforcement presence here, which is comforting, but at a time that it is quite uncomforting to see faces of fans and children. Tough day here, tough ending to a day.
Absolutely heartbreaking. We had a chance to talk with a couple of people out here who were there when everything went down, and they had been out here since 9 p.m. yesterday. So obviously they were very close to the front and very excited to be here, but you could definitely tell the difference, obviously, in their tone, saying that they initially thought that people were just sort of pushing to get out quickly from the parade, and then immediately they sort of realized that things were not normal, and then heard those gunshots, which they thought were fireworks as well. So we're hearing a lot of the same thing from people, thought they were fireworks, and now that we know they were gunshots. But we're going to continue to gather more information out here, talk with folks, and find out what they saw and what they heard. But for right now, guys, we'll send it back to you.
All right, so another report there from KCTV. This one kind of more painting the scene, but not offering any updates. Again, we have learned, courtesy of the Associated Press, that they are reporting that fire officials say that 8 to 10 people were hurt in this. Again, I had seen in this camera here, loaded into one of the ambulances, unsure if it's that one, but it was one of the ambulances, a person, they were moving, they were talking to fire officials, but again, didn't want to show that just out of respect for that person. One thing to remember here, these are live videos. We're covering this all live. This is the definition of breaking news. So we're going to try our best to censor some things and obviously not show some things, and to make sure that you're getting also the most accurate information, and that's the best that we can do in this situation here. We had shown you, I'm still trying to see if there's any more things here. There's also a reunification point set up. So police just announcing that a couple of minutes ago here, that there's a reunification area that's been set up. So they're going to be able to put different people, whether they've been separated by this or children, things like that. They'll be able to put them together. They're setting that up right now due to the severity of the shooting, and now you're seeing more armed guards, more armed officers arriving to the area. Any witnesses to the shooting are also asked to go to the southwest corner of Pershing and Main in Kansas City. As we see another ambulance pulling away, this again from the helicopter. I'm just going to update this really quickly. Let's pull up multiple angles here. So still trying to figure out some more here related to this. But again, what we can confirm is that shots fired at the Kansas City Chiefs parade. This was supposed to be a time to celebrate and enjoy and respect and celebrate the season. And that was obviously torn apart by shots fired at Union Station. Let's see if they're going to be offering any more here from these reporters. Quick reminder as well, these reporters are just trying to get the latest information out there. This is going to be a long day for many of them. And of course, whatever updates we can get and bring to you, we will do so. So yeah, so we are saying, so fire officials are reporting 8 to 10 injured in the shooting, 2 people in custody for this. All right, I'm going to pull off of that one there. You can see there was a person being brought by a stretcher. Don't want to show that. That's another victim that we've seen. That's now the second victim that we've seen from this.
Well, we just saw another person transported by medical personnel on a golf cart. No idea if they were a victim of the shooting or the trample that happened afterwards when people were trying to get away and people fell down. But at any rate, they just took a gentleman away on a golf cart with receiving medical attention. It did not look like he had been shot. The situation is very fluid. They continue to have ambulances here. Some have gotten filled with people and left, and others are staying here, but they're not leaving. Obviously a massive police presence, although there was a very big police presence all day long today as they sat around and stood around and answered questions if people needed it. And immediately they rushed toward the shooters. I couldn't see the shooters because of the wall of people that were coming at me. Again, I was about 35 yards away from when it happened, but police officers from all directions ran that way, and they ended up tackling a couple of people, it appears, but that's the way it looked to me. I didn't see it happen that way. I saw the aftermath of police officers multiple police officers on people, subduing them, and then they were taken away. One looked like he received medical attention, and he was taken away. Whether they are suspects or not, I don't know. But in the aftermath of it, for probably 30 minutes, people have been walking around trying to find their families. I don't see any of those people now, but they were adults. I didn't see any children unattended or crying or anything like that. But people were walking around trying to use their phone. Obviously, the phone wasn't working because everybody was calling at the same moment. But I think people are able to reconnect because the phone service is back up. But there were people angry people coming over and yelling at our photographer. A guy tried to pull his camera off his shoulder, and when I went over and confronted him and said, hey, you don't need to do that, he shoved me down. Man came up and said, hey, we'll arrest him. And I said, no, I'm not interested in that. But it was a very, very emotional situation for a number of people. And there are people over here now that are just so angry and frustrated that this happened, because everybody understands what this means. Forget what happened up on stage. Forget all of the fun and the great emotion, positive emotion. What's going to go out is going to be that it's a shooting, another shooting, and it's going to be perhaps, I hope not, but it's perhaps going to be a black eye for our community, because that's going to be the headline around the world. 700,000 people or whatever it was, and there was a shooting at the end of it. I don't know who was injured. All I can say is this: I'm glad it was not as bad as it could have been. I mean, this was a situation with all those people packed in, and it sounded like a string of fireworks going off. I don't know enough about guns to know if that's an automatic or a semi-automatic weapon, but a lot of bullets looked like they were fired, and as we saw, there were a number of people hurt. I think so, and my photographer's agreeing with me. I'd say it was like that, a string of maybe 20 fireworks, and it went off over a period of a few seconds. And it happened right there. I was standing right here, and the gunfire happened on the other side of that red fire truck, and hundreds and hundreds of people came running at me, and it was crowded where I was, so they had nowhere to go. It was utter terror, and when you consider, and I keep going back to this, when you consider that you had so many families here with strollers and toddlers and 5-year-olds and 7-year-olds and 8-year-olds, and you're trying to get them out, you hear that, you don't know if it's a gunfire. All you know is that it's bad and people were running. And now I'm told that there is another patient coming out of that area and is going to be brought to an ambulance. We'll see if that is the case. But they have not cleared the scene. There are still a lot of emergency people, emergency workers, and there you see somebody on that yellow drape on a gurney who's being wheeled over to an ambulance. So I can't, I cover sports, I don't cover news, but I can tell you this was very, very frightening to me, and to anybody, I think, who has a family. It was a scary moment.
All right, so that again was another one of our affiliates. They're what they do is they'll move everybody into the same area, all of the reporters in the same area. You could hear his report there. You never want a reporter to be pushed or harmed in anything, but I think it's really important to remember that these are high stakes and really stressful situations, and for many of these people, they don't know how to act. They don't know how to react. So, of course, there's going to be an absurd amount of chaos in this. So we're trying to load in some new video here. This is going to hopefully give us a clear picture at some of this. So just give me a second to put this in there, and then we'll take a look at more.
Guys,
oh, here we go.
Yep. So, guys, I'm seeing FBI agents. I'm seeing ATF agents on the scene now. We are seeing other investigators come in along with Kansas City, Missouri police. So the police presence is growing by the moment.
All right, while we wait for more dialogue from that reporter who's doing a fantastic job, here's some aerials of the chaos. And just take a look at that. These are, again, people that are going to the Kansas City Chiefs parade to enjoy themselves, to try and celebrate their team. And this is the reaction. And I think the only way to explain this and to describe this is chaos.
We are being sent to the sidewalk. Guys, I don't see a witness who could talk. They've kind of they've got everybody out now except for the media.
You heard there as well that reporter saying that they're moving all of their reporters in one area. I'm going to bring you back out live to that right here to show you the scene. We're still waiting to learn more information, and we're still getting more information. You may be hearing stuff. We, of course, are hearing it, but we like to make sure it's confirmed before we go live with it. But you can see the crews are continually being moved back. Again, 2 people have been taken into custody on this. Of course, that is a good sign for the investigation, but that is no indication as far as if that's everybody involved.
Right on the line, baby. Let's go.
All right, so let's recap here and let's kind of reset for where we are. Jeff Slauson here from the 19 News Digital Desk. For those that are joining us, those that just jumped on a little bit ago or have been following us along, we want to recap what we know. There were reports of shots fired at the Kansas City Chiefs Super Bowl parade that was being held in Kansas City, Missouri today. The shots came about an hour ago, maybe less. That was the initial reports. That was at Union Station downtown, which is basically the heart of where this parade was taking place. Hundreds of thousands of people were lining the streets, celebrating when shots rang out. We now know that between 8 to 10 people were hurt and also 2 people taken into custody. That's what we can confirm as of right now. We have aerial footage to show you, which shows the totality of the response from police officers. As you can probably understand, on a day like this, law enforcement was prepared with tons of police officers. I want to show you this, which is from Jacob Michael. He is with the News Press Now. He's the sports director at News Press Now in St. Joseph, just to show you the response and what this looks like when the shooting happened. So you can see there just how many officers responded at the time. This is what it looked like from the air, and this shows the totality of the chaos.
No, they are not letting anybody in except people who live here in this area.
And that reporter that you heard saying they're not letting anybody in, only people that live there, he's been fantastic in giving us the latest on what's been going on, of course, as his shot freezes. So we'll bring you to another shot that we have there, another, excuse me, I'll use some better language there, another camera angle that we have on the scene, and that one is now freezing. Fantastic. So we'll go back. Okay, that one's freezing now too. We're going to, there's, typically in a situation like this, there's a lot of people that are trying to go live from it. So that means that the cell towers that we use are going to have the shots freeze. Again, I apologize for the usage there. The camera angles freeze, their camera using freeze. So we're going to wait and see if there's a potential update to come here.
Yeah, I was going to suggest, here, I'll talk to editing.
So they're, yeah,
Dave,
they
were you
keep
rolling
going in and
on
out.
Live View 90?
It looks like somebody else might be going live here. These two right here. Again, KCTV. Oh, they have somebody there. Okay, so we're going to pull this up.
This afternoon who were in the area and saw some of the stuff that we've been talking about. This is Krista. Krista, can you kind of explain to me what you were saying when everything went down?
Yeah, we were, if you were looking at the stage, we were to the right of the stage, of the VIP area, and we saw some people start running, and we were like, okay, well, the police ran into the building, so we didn't worry, because there's a lot of police running. And then someone said, oh, it was a fire, and then she comes running, and she's like, no, it's shots fired. And so we started listening to her, and then that's when everybody started. Yeah, and
I was just telling everybody to get down, and then like get out the way, and the officers were coming around, and that's what they did.
Yeah.
So.
Krista, you were saying that you saw police actually swarming something.
So when I was leaving, and I don't remember if my other friends were still with me or not at the time because it kind of blurred.
It did.
But when we were heading west, trying to get back and away from it, we saw the police swarm a stairwell, and then we heard another pop from there. And that's when I was like, okay, we're gone.
Time to move. Similar situation?
Same, yes. I was on the probably to her right. Probably on her right side when everything was going on. And then so we kind of circled back, but then all of the people in FBI and police, they were all like, okay, everybody has to go that way towards Crown Center. And so everybody started going that way, and then everybody's trying to come back because everybody's parked over here. And now that's a crime scene, we can't get in the parking garage.
So
everybody's
until
here
it's cleared up.
and stuck.
Because your cars are still in there as well.
And that's where.
Well, thank you guys so much for sharing. You actually said you saw someone being led away in handcuffs.
We did see two police officers lead someone away in handcuffs. So I don't know if that was him or not. I just kind of went cuffs, turning him the other way because at that point I don't want to see anything else.
He was in a red
Yes.
jumpsuit.
Yes.
Well, thank you both so much for sharing that with us, guys. This is a similar kind of story that we're hearing from a lot of people down here. Fireworks, gunshots, didn't know what it was, but they knew that they wanted to get out of there in a hurry. We're going to keep checking with people down here, and we'll send it back to you in the studio.
Yeah, some really good insight there, and yeah, just any sort of anything that we can get is helpful. Any sort of opinion that we can get, any sort of reaction from those that were actually on the scene is incredibly beneficial. Again, we are waiting potentially for an update from police here. I've been just scouring the internet and trying to find if there's any update from there. The Kansas City Police Department's been pretty good about updating their Twitter and letting us know exactly what's been happening, but they have not updated since 24 minutes ago when they announced a child reunification station has been set up. You heard earlier, for those that have been watching for a little bit now, the plan that was being done to try and get children and people back together, and the reporter saying how they've had multiple instances where they've seen people looking for loved ones, looking for friends, and not able to find them. Again, what we are able to report right now, 8 to 10 people hurt, 2 in custody. Those numbers could fluctuate. We, of course, are waiting to learn more from police, and until we get an official update, we will basically wait to do that and to do so. Let's see if they're saying anything on this one. All right, so it looks like the helicopter is heading away, so we will stop with that view. We still have 2 of them, but the views are getting a little bit more difficult to see here. So you heard the one reporter as well say that FBI, SWAT, local police, marshals, I mean, there were dozens, of what he said, of different responding agencies that are responding to this and trying to help out in this. I think that first reaction is probably the most telling of this, which again comes courtesy of Jacob Michael on Twitter. I want to show you something. There you're seeing somebody being brought in from a gurney. All right, and so now we have confirmed Children's Mercy Hospital has received some patients that have come from the shooting scene. So an awful situation there. Of the 8 to 10 hurt, we now know that some of them are being taken to a children's hospital. We saw videos of people being brought away in handcuffs, unsure if those people are related to the shooting or if they were just at the parade. But it seems like people are still being taken out of Union Station and put into ambulances. But we are still waiting to see more there. We have 3 different views of what's going on. We have these 2 right there, and then we also have this one right here, which shows you Union Station, which has the main stage there, just to show you the proximity to basically where all of the thousands of people were. And I mean thousands. I mean, there's a potential for hundreds of thousands here celebrating the Super Bowl parade for the Kansas City Chiefs, their 2nd one in a row. But now shots fired. We are hearing, yeah, so CBS News now saying at least 10. Let's see here. We're seeing some more officers. Oh, sorry. I was looking down, didn't see that was being changed over. Here's some more officers running away from the scene or running in some area. And this is a recorded view of the immediate reaction.
What's going
to
on?
This
Guys.
this is previous. This is previous.
Guys. Guys! Guys! Guys!
Oh, that's we're gonna pull out of that. That's intense. Oh, there's the guy attacking the cameraman. So I'm watching this. Those are
Guys,
previously
that
done
was
video. That was intense. So basically, what we saw there was the initial reaction of people running out, and then we saw people administering CPR to someone. If you've been following along with this for quite some time here, you heard one of the reporters say that there was somebody that charged their camera. That was that point there. They were doing so because they were focusing a camera on someone that was clearly on the ground. And we're now seeing armed. All right, police are now saying that one person has died. Confirmed, one person dead in this. Again, 2 in custody. We had 8% hurt. I'm going to update that on here.
And I can't talk because the mic is tied up with
So we have now confirmed one person has died. So we were seeing officers running again, wondering where that is. This is another view again of the scene.
Okay. He said, just stay live, and he said, all good. I told the producer, I told Ronnie, didn't you? I think I did. I was telling him, I said, have you seen this stuff? And he said, I said, we have it. He goes, it's too rapid. It's like homeless. I said, you guys have that? He said, we don't. Just keep it live. Don't do it.
All right, so again, we are waiting to learn some more here. We have been updated that one person has died in this shooting. Now that has become a tragic shooting and a deadly shooting from the Kansas City Chiefs parade. Kansas City Police updating for the first time, just to say that the only child reunification center is going to be located inside of Union Station. So Union Station now has been cleared enough to have the child reunification center inside. Now remember, the shooting took place at a garage outside of it or near it, but multiple people in custody, multiple people hurt, and confirmed one person has died in this.
only assaulted you, not me, man. Yeah, knocked me to the ground, and a guy came up and said, "Want me to arrest him?" And I said, "No, I'm not interested." Because he was pulling your camera off, and I went over and go, "Hey, you don't need to do that." And then he goes, and he just shoved me.
All right, it seems that everything is somewhat calmed down here, so we are going to wrap up our digital coverage here of, again, the shooting that took place at the Chiefs Parade. Of course, if there's a potential update to come in the next couple of hours, we will provide that to you as soon as possible, but this seems to be at least a calm point, so we're going to end our digital coverage there. Again, 1 dead, between 8 and 10 hurt, and 2 in custody. We do know that some were taken to the Children's Hospital in the area as well. Just a horrific scene on what should have been such a celebratory day for Kansas City, for Missouri, for Kansas, for that entire area, and yet here we are. All right, that is going to wrap up our digital coverage here. For now, I'm Jeff Slauson with 19 News. We have our newscast starting at 5 o'clock, so we will see you then. And then, of course, we will have much more at that time.
19 News, now streaming on Samsung Smart TV.